Alright guys, so here we have the OWON OW18B. This is a Bluetooth multimeter that I picked up on Amazon. This is not funded by OWON. I actually purchased this myself. The price of this one was, if I'm not mistaken, was $79.99 and delivered to your door. So for the price of a Bluetooth multimeter, it's pretty good because I was pricing some higher brand ones and the prices were just ridiculous. So with that being said, we're going to start and we're going to go with start the unboxing of this one. So here we have the meter itself. Comes with a screwdriver. Comes with leads. Comes with a thermometer if you'd like better. Comes with alligator clips. User's manual. Where to download the app for the Bluetooth function. I'll get into that a little bit later. And specifications. Now I'll be putting a link in the description for the specifications and also where you guys can actually purchase this in the description. Alright, so now that we have everything out of the box and the box out of the way, we can go through and actually start unwrapping these things and see what the quality of the leads are and everything else. So here are the leads. The lids are actually very good quality. They're rated for 1,000 volts onto the leads. Try to show you guys that. I don't know if my camera will pick it up or not. Probably not. No. Oh well, yeah. You guys can see it there. There we go. So it's rated for 1,000 volts, and it is rated for 10 amps. Max. Try to get you zoomed in on that. The alligator clips. They are also rated for 1,000 volts, 10 amps. Both of them are the exact same. And the leads are Cat 2 compliant. It comes with the screwdriver, as you guys seen. What the screwdriver is for is to take off this screw right here in order to insert the battery. That we'll insert the battery into it in a couple minutes. And last but not least, it comes with a temperature probe. It comes connected with two male banana connectors and the probe itself. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys that. Try my best here. There you go. Now the meter itself is an auto ranging meter, and it comes with a variety of functions onto it, like volts, millivolts, resistance, diode, continuity, amps, milliamps, microamps, temperature, and hertz, and capacitance. So those are pretty much all standard features on all multimeters these days. You can go with and check on any other multimeter like from Snap-on or Fluke or OTC, and they'll have the exact same features onto it. Now, this meter itself, as I stated before, it is an auto ranging meter. It is also a true RMS meter, It is Cat 3 and Cat 4 compliant. Okay. Now, so far, what I don't like about this meter is even though it is Cat 3 and Cat 4 compliant, but the leads that they send are not. The leads that they send are Cat 2 compliant. So they're pretty much useless on today's vehicles if you want to go with a hybrid. The meter itself you can use on hybrid. You can use it to test hybrid vehicles. But I wouldn't trust the leads themselves. So I would really go ahead and replace these if I was to buy this meter. Or if you have another meter that does have Cat 3 leads, just go ahead, use those. Also, the leads are rated for 10 amp max, where the meter itself can go up to 20. So just with the leads themselves and the alligator clips, if you're gonna test a circuit that's over 10 amps, I wouldn't recommend using this because you can either damage the meter or you can damage your leads or you can do personal injury to yourself. So with that being said, just keep that in mind. It's more of a issue and a safety issue than anything else. Now back to the meter. The meter has, like I said, a variety of functions onto it. It has your volts, your millivolts, your resistance, diode, and continuity on one setting, which you use by selecting the select button that's right here. That you change using the select button that's right here. Capacitance, hertz, temperature, non-column. I'm not even sure what the NCV is for. That's what I have a manual, I guess. Well, we'll go and we'll see. What NCV stands for. Sorry, I know what it's for. I know what it's for. I don't know what it stands for.
5 minutes later.
Sorry. There we go. So NCV stands for, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, non-contact voltage detection. So like I stated before, that's basically if you're working on house electrical, you guys can actually take and pass this sensor that's up here along a wire, and if it's open, like you don't have any drywall or anything, you can pass it all the way along the complete wire and it'll tell you where that wire is open or where there might be a connection issue into a junction box or something like that. Now from what I can tell, this only works between 90 volts AC to 120 or 220. I don't know the exact specs, but I know it starts at 90 volts AC, and that's where this the NCV function would come into. So for automotive purposes, not very useful. For somebody doing house electrical, it might be pretty useful. Now, then it has microamps, amps, and milliamps and amps. So those are the main selectable functions of the meter. Now with that being said, the toggle wheel itself is actually it's actually very sturdy. There's a lot of resistance onto it. Well, enough resistance that it's not gonna slip out anywhere. As you can tell, I'm actually pushing onto it right now, left and right. And it seems like if it has it's spring loaded too into each position. Now after that, the case it's a plastic ABS case, as most multimeters are today, and it comes with a removable protector. Now the protector itself, I don't find it very thick compared to the other protectors I've seen on some multimeters, but it will give it a minimum amount of protection if you guys drop it or something like that. But this your NCV sensor, if you guys drop it like this on the ground, will probably break it. Just a little pointer. So that could probably be a flaw. Now, a couple of other little features with this Bluetooth multimeter is, if you turn it on, and let's just say you're working under the dash or you're working into a tight spot, you have a light bulb for your backlight right here. Now when you hit your backlight, you have to hold it and it'll turn on your backlight. And when you it turns on your backlight, it also turns on a small little LED. Now this LED could be of great use under, like I said, if you're working into a dark spot into a house, or if you're working into a underneath the dash into a vehicle or into a trunk where there's very minimal light and you forgot your light at your toolbox, it could be very handy. Hold it and turn back off. But what I am going to do, I am going to just go through and hook up the leads to a 12 volt battery source. I'll do a resistance check, a continuity check, a feature check, and a diode check, and I'll do a hertz, and I'll also use the temperature feature function of the meter, just to give you guys an idea on how accurate and how fast it actually shows up on screen when you're actually measuring components and whatnot. So that's what we're going to do right now. It does have it also does have a stand. So if you guys want to take and hold it up, you guys don't have to just lie it down. It actually comes with a stand also. So what we're going to do, we're going to take and we're going to do some basic resistance checks. I actually have resistors. I have diodes. I have a few little things like that. And a battery. Now this is to see how quickly that the meter actually reacts when it's actually connected to a component that you're testing. Because some meters go very, very slow, and me personally, I can't stand that. I find that very annoying. And also, just to let you guys know, when you guys are pushing in the leads, they actually are very tight. So you actually have to give it some force. So what we're going to do first is a basic voltage check. And it's showing up nicely on screen. So we're going to take our red to our black. And I want to see how quickly. That was pretty quick. Now that's for voltage. Now we're going to go and check resistance. Mess up the reading of the meter. I'm going to go ahead and put on the alligator clips. So I'm not touching it with my hands because your body actually does have resistance through it and can mess up your readings. And you'll see that it is auto ranging also. So we're going to go like that and like that. And yeah, this one is the 390 ohm resistor, and it's reading it at 380.
Now, don't forget that the resistance has a tolerance of plus or minus 10%, and I'm well into that specification, so this test is passed.
So that's the resistance. Now that is a 390 ohm resistor, just to let you guys know. And now if we press the select button, it's going to change. And as you can tell, it changed into continuity. Now we're going to test the continuity function. Just use this and we'll see with this. Because the resistance on a tie wrap should actually be fairly low. And the continuity feature does work. So if your resistance is too high, your continuity feature does not work. So there you go. Continuity feature does work. And it's reading the resistance of this at 0.2 ohms of resistance. Now, if we press the select button again, we're going to switch over to our diode test. As you can tell right there. Now with the diode test, now if you guys don't know, diodes are marked with a gray band. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that with the light. Can you guys see? No, oh, there you go. Now, there you go. So if you can see that little gray band, that's actually your cathode side is the one with the gray band, and your anode side is the one with the positive. So it will only work in one way. So this is positive, and this is negative. 0.567 volts. When you're measuring a diode, voltage only flows in one way into the diode, and the meter actually puts out a small amount of voltage in order to test it. And if we switch it, nothing, because voltage cannot flow from a negative to positive into a diode. And if we switch it back, as you can see, 576 ohms, volts, 0.576 volts of passing through. So the diode is good, the meters are reading it properly. Diode you'll read between 0.5 to 0.7 volts normally, and that's onto a good working diode, just to let you guys know. And that covers resistance, continuity, and diode. Now, let's go to the Hertz feature. Now for the Hertz feature, I'm actually going to be using one of my other tools, which is the Hantek 1008C. It has a pulse width frequency that comes out of it, and we're just going to measure the hertz that are coming out of onto that signal. There you go. And it's reading it at almost 1 hertz, which is what the meter actually puts out, is close to 1 hertz. Not the meter, sorry. My Hantek 1008C, and the generator actually puts out 1 hertz. So that's for the hertz. Now let's go to the temperature. Now my room temperature is set at 23. I still find it a little bit chilly in here, but because I have a fan going too, who knows. So we're going to take and we're going to remove our leads. Ooh, like I said, they're tight and they're really in there, so I'm going to take, and it is reading it at 22 degrees. And I have it set at 23. 23. So the temperature in the room's at 23 and the meter's reading it at 24. Now it might be because of the light source and whatnot too, that it's actually reading it a little bit hotter than what it is. But it is reading and it's pretty accurate. I'd say it's going to be accurate between plus or minus 1 degree, which if you're working on an AC system, 1 degree can mean hot or cold. But as you can tell, I'm within my limits. It's moving between 23 and 24, so I'm okay with that. Like I said, the NCV is non-contact voltage detection, and we're not going to be using that or showing you guys that feature because me personally, it doesn't affect me in any way because I use multimeters on automotive and not on house electrical. So, and then we have microamps, amps, and amps. Now, I don't really have anything to show you guys the amperage setting, so sorry about that, but we're gonna have to leave that at that. And that's basically all there is to the multimeter. Now, like I said, there are a few little things that won't deter me away from purchasing a multimeter, because I can just replace those, especially if it's a good multimeter. And from my personal experience with this one so far, because I have actually used this meter to measure some components and stuff, and it is very quick and it is very precise to date. And I really don't think that there's anything wrong with it, even though it is a lower cost multimeter. Like I said, why they send Cat 2 leads when they should have sent Cat 3 leads at minimum with it, because the minimum rating on the multimeter is Cat 3. I really don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that. But it's not going to stop me from buying the multimeter, because the multimeter itself actually does seem to be a very good multimeter. Now, some of the pros that I can give you guys, and this is my personal opinion, is that it has a fast reading time. It is Cat 3 and Cat 4 compliant. It has a 20 amp fuse. Now most multimeters that you go buy are going to have a 10 amp fuse. The case is semi-rubberized. It's a true RMS reading at 6,000 counts. It is Bluetooth and data logging. For the most part, everything that comes with it is actually very high quality that they do send you. So it is a low cost meter with high quality items that come with it. Now, it's full auto ranging. It's LED backlit, and that's basically all the pros that I can give you from my personal experience with it. Now, the cons, the leads are only 10 amp max. It does not come with a carrying case. It has lead holders on the rear, which they actually, if you can see them right here. Me personally, I don't think I'll ever use them, just because they'll actually take up more room and they could get damaged inside of the toolbox or whatnot. So I don't even know. They could actually remove these and it would still be a great meter. It's just a feature useless feature in my opinion. The leads are a little short that they do send with them compared to other leads. The leads are roughly about, I'd say, a good 2.5, 3 feet long. And the ones that I normally use, they're roughly about 3.5, 4 feet. So to me, they are a little short, but it's not going to take me away from buying, like I said. They for the Bluetooth feature, they ask a lot of permissions. Now there is a way around that, and I'll post a link in the description on how you guys can get around that, because they ask for way too many permissions when they don't actually need to. Now, before I end this, I'm actually going to take it. I'm actually going to show you guys the Bluetooth reading. I'm actually going to. So I'll do it with the 12 volt battery instead. I'll bring the 12 volt battery somewhere, I'll hook it up, and then I'll use my meter. So now in order to get into the Bluetooth function, you do have to turn it back on. Now the Bluetooth function, there's no setting onto the meter itself. It's actually just this button right here. You take and you hold it. And when you hold it, you're gonna see, you're gonna hear a beep. And, whoa. There we go. Sorry about that. And you're going to see the Bluetooth icon show up. Now, if you're wondering why I want a Bluetooth meter, and if you're an automotive technician, you will understand that when you're working in the back of a vehicle and you're testing a lighting circuit, and all of a sudden you have to go up to the front of the vehicle, and the lights are not working at all. So you go up to the front, you have to go up to the front of the vehicle and you have to press the brakes, or you have to turn on the parking lights, and you want to see what voltage is coming out. And most of the time, either you have to ask somebody to go and help you, or you have to maneuver your body in a way which your body should never move in order to see the meter properly. Now with the Bluetooth function onto the phone, you go in, you hook your meter up onto your connections, you go up to the front, turn on, make sure your phone is already connected to it, go up to the front of the vehicle, push the brakes, or turn on your lighting circuit, and you'll see exactly what voltage is coming out of that circuit right away. Now, me personally, and that's even with reading sensors onto engines. I don't know how many times that I've actually had to take my multimeter, set it up into a specific way to read the voltages that are coming in and out of sensors. With the Bluetooth function, I don't have to do that. I hook it up, and then I go inside the vehicle. I start the car, I'll rev it, I'll do whatever I need to get those sensors working the way I want them to work, if they are working, and that's it. There's nothing else that needs to be done. So, before I'm going to pause the video real quick, I'm going to go set the meter up somewhere probably about 10-15 feet away, and then I'll turn the camera back on, and we'll see what the meter's reading. So the meter is connected upstairs, and now what I'm going to do is just disconnect the ground lead, and it's going to change. Then I'll reconnect it, then I'll disconnect it, then I will reconnect it again, and then I will disconnect it again, and then I'll reconnect it one more time. And that's all that there is to the Bluetooth feature. Now I'm actually quite far away from the phone. I actually put the phone up in my kitchen. So that's probably a good, going up the stairs and everything through the walls, I don't know, say about a good 15-20 feet. So The meter range on the Bluetooth system is actually pretty good. So now with the Bluetooth feature out of the way, there's not very much left that can be said about this multimeter. So I went through the voltage, the resistance, continuity, and diode testing. I showed you guys that it's able to do hertz, temperature. The amps I didn't get to go through because I actually don't have anything on hand for the amps feature right now. But I went through what I could, and hopefully this review helps some people if you guys were thinking about buying this meter. And with that being said, you guys have a good night, and I will see you next time.